Let's go. You read the title. This video is on identity shifting. I think this topic alone can change everything for you. So definitely has for me. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jem. I make videos on psychology, spirituality, and self-improvement. There's definitely a lot to gain from this channel, especially if you follow along very closely and you watch all my videos. Not to sound pluggy, but when you watch all my videos, you can kind of piece together things a lot better. And one of the things that I talk a lot about is identity shifting. So to understand what identity shifting is, we kind of first have to identify what identity is. Your identity is your ego. It's who you think you are. It's the story you tell yourself. It's your experiences. It's your character profile of yourself. But you have to understand that this character profile or this ego or this identity is extremely moldable and it can be changed, right? Your ego is really just you're a result of your environment, your culture. You've meshed with culture in a way that you've integrated certain beliefs and customs of your culture. So if you're in America, you've integrated certain American idealisms into your identity. If you're in, France, you've ingrained certain parts of the culture. If you're in Brazil, same thing. If you're in India, same thing. These different locations affect identity and who you think you are, right? You've looked at media and you've done all these things in order to kind of build yourself into this person you are today. Sure, you have other drives as well, like biological drives that are just naturally part of yourself, and they make total sense. It kind of just your biological drives are instilled automatically, right? It's kind of like that app that you can't remove from your phone. It's just downloaded there automatically, and it is what it is. But your ego in and of itself, it can be changed. So that's what we mean by identity. Your identity really reflects in your beliefs, actions, and what you think you can achieve. For example, if you don't see yourself as someone that can be successful, you're not gonna believe that you can be successful, and your actions won't be that of a successful person. You might be lazy, you may procrastinate, you may not, really give a shit. Like, you'll just be very lax and laid back and be in a very passive, position in your life. But if your identity is someone that is successful, somebody that's a go-getter, somebody that's driven, what do you think your belief is? That you can achieve things, and your actions are going to be, you're going to have certain habits and habitual actions that back up your identity, right? See, if you go through the self-help community on YouTube, what you usually will see is people doing these challenges, these 15-day challenges, these monthly challenges, and they're cool, they're pretty cute, but they're really just entertainment value. It's really just this, oh, that's cool, you did this challenge and things like that, but it doesn't really accomplish anything. These are just kind of like temporary things that people try out. Now, I'm not saying that, hey, not to try things out. For example, maybe there's a diet that you want to try out for like 2 weeks to see if it's right for you and things like that. That's a little different. But if we're talking lasting change, going on things for 14 days, 20 days, that isn't what elicits change. So whatever goal you want to achieve, if your current identity is not in line with the person that achieves that goal, then you won't achieve it. That's just the truth. Like me, for example, I'm someone that's really into fitness, and I've kind of gotten very serious about my fitness routine. And I had to really take a step back and think of what are the habits of someone that's extremely fit, has an amazing body. And this person is always in the gym. This person eats right. This person has the mindset of, I can achieve an amazing body. And so since I have the belief that I can achieve an amazing body, and I have the actions to back it up, and like those actions of going to the gym and eating right and things like that, through time, that identity is going to formulate and it's going to come together. And when I achieve that identity, my belief of I am fit and I can be even more fit gets perpetually increased. Like it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So identity, it's kind of a two-way streak. So in a way, you have to have that identity in order to kind of have those beliefs and actions. But even before you get to that identity, you should embody the belief and the actions to get to the identity, if that makes sense. So why is identity shifting even crucial? Again, to reach a goal, you need to be a different person. Where you are right now, it's from the beliefs and actions you've done previously. So if you want to be in a different stratosphere, you have to have different beliefs and actions. On a spiritual level, when you do this identity shift, you're a vibrational match for your manifestation or your desire, right? Vibration is everything. Like, this whole universe is literally vibration, is literally frequency. Things you attract into your life are a result of your mind state, and that's all about your beliefs, and your beliefs affect your actions and things like that. So if we think of it from a spiritual perspective, what you attract, whether it's a partner, whether it's, you know, certain events, right? Whether it's a certain job, whether it's anything it is, it's the vibrational match that you embody in order to bring that forth. See, it's very unfortunate because in self-help and, you know, betterment and bettering yourself overall, people want to look for magic pills. And the reason for this is because people don't want pain. Like, they don't want to struggle in order to get a certain desired result. But the truth is, you kind of have to pay your dues in a way, in that you have to put in a degree of work that is, maybe you might not see the results, although you may not see the results in the beginning, but, you know, results accumulate over time. And of course, identity shifting, it's not like it's this set time. Like, you know, there are scientific studies where it's like, yeah, it takes 21 days to form a habit, it takes 60 days to formulate this, and there's some truth to it, but we're all very different. So to really solidify an identity and not kind of come back to where you previously were, it really depends on the person. And I'm going to outline how to identity shift, and one of the things included in identity shifting, which is time, is a huge thing to note. So if we're looking at it from ego to ego, where you are, it's your current ego, and then who you have to be to achieve certain goals is a new ego you have to embody. And this just shows, you see, just seeing how you can change from this person to this person shows you that ego is extremely arbitrary, and it's just like whatever you want it to be. What stops a lot of people from changing their egos, it's their environment, it's their friends, it's what will this person think if I become this person, if I change like this? What will I lose, right? And it can be kind of scary because this is all you know, and this, you know, you're stepping into the unknown. But if you really desire what you desire, and you really understand that, hey, you have one life to live, you have to have a degree of detachment into your current self, your current reality. You have to have a degree of detachment, say, hey, I'm really comfortable here, but I kind of associate where I am right now with pain, and the new me, I desire this new me more than I desire where I currently am. Because the old self doesn't want to change, right? We're creatures of comfort, and if we're doing certain habits that are very comfortable, and there's not really enough pain associated to change, why should we change? Essentially, that's pretty much what it is. We're creatures of habit, but emotion is what breaks habits, and it's what creates habits. So let's take somebody that has the habit of arguing all the time, just likes arguing with people, and they're really emotionally invested into their arguments with people. So the emotion, the thrilling emotion is what makes them always like to argue subconsciously, right? They kind of get a kick off the emotional high from arguing. But if they see that, you know, although they're getting this emotional kick from arguing, but this arguing isn't making them happy, emotionally they can see, hey, what's the point of me putting myself through all this turmoil? Although sometimes I get a emotional kick out of it, what's the point of me putting myself through all this turmoil long term? What's the point of that exactly? What exactly is the point of that? So if they can feel emotionally that it's painful, they'll want to change. So emotion is what can create habits, and emotion is what can break them. Now, before I get into how to identity shift, I want to talk about, it's well known that the top areas of life, top pillars of life are health, wealth, and relationships. These three right here, if you can make them better, your quality of life completely changes, right? These are like, if we're talking about the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, of life, if you focus on these 3 areas, you're going to see major changes, right? These 3 areas make up pretty much 80% of everything in your life. So if you can, as I kind of go through identity shifting, if you can apply these to these 3 areas of life first, because they're the most important, you're going to see drastic difference. So this is how you identity shift, how you change yourself into a new person. First, it's the belief that you can be the new person, right? You have to believe that, hey, I'm capable of being an athlete. I'm capable of being a business owner. I'm capable of being a dancer. I'm capable of being a pianist. I'm capable of attracting women. I'm capable of making a lot of money, making 6 figures. I'm capable of breaking my addictions. I'm capable of starting a YouTube channel. I'm capable of traveling, of retiring I'm capable of retiring when I am this age, right? This is a belief, a specific belief that you can be the person that achieves a certain goal. Cool. So what you're doing here is you're changing your story. Your previous story is, I can't do this. Now the belief is saying, I can do this. So you're becoming a better and newer version of yourself. Next is your habits. What daily habits are you doing to achieve this goal, right? So in my example, I'm going to the gym. I'm eating right. I'm watching my caloric intake. I'm making sure I'm getting my macronutrients in, making sure I'm, getting my micronutrients in. These are all habits that I do in order to ensure that I get a really fit body. And I don't want to flex too hard right now because I might rip my shirt. Anyways, habits. What habits are you doing on a daily basis in order to achieve this new version of you? After that, it's time, which is so important. To shift into a new identity, it's not just you wake up one day, this is the new me. No, it's time that passes by. It can be weeks, it can be months. Ideally, you want to give it a lot of time. In self-improvement, time is what brings things forth. It's what you do throughout the days, weeks, and months, right? And it's your degree of patience that goes into it. And we're in a microwave generation where people want things like instant. But that's completely not in line with identity shifting and becoming a newer person. You are not going to be a new person in just a split second, because you still have subconscious attachments and processes of the old you. So that's what time is, as far as you want a degree of time into your identity shifting. Next, awareness. As you're doing your habits and time passes by, you need to be aware of how you're changing. You need to be aware of what you're doing differently, how you're acting differently. Like, wow, the old me would have done this, but I'm doing this now. Like, for example, when I was starting my business, my marketing agency, I was noticing, like, wow, like, I'm very on top of things. I'm not procrastinating anymore. Like, the old me would have waited. The old me would have been like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. But no, like, I'm so accountable now, right? Like, I've noticed that there's a shift in me, and I'm very different. And I was noticing that I was, even other areas of my life, like when I was running errands, I was really organized, and I was like, oh, I gotta do this. I'm gonna go do this. Maybe I want to hang out. Maybe somebody wanted to hang out, or maybe a girl wanted to hang out. I'd be like, okay, I'm not free with this time, but I'm free that time. But the old me would have been like, yeah, sure, whatever, Like, I'm scheduled. I'm more prompt, and it was different. So noticing how you're different, you're noticing how your habits have changed, is so important, because you're like, okay, so I am a new person now. This is the new me, right? On the egoic level, of course. And lastly, identity shifting is emotionally finding joy in the new you, really relishing and enjoying this new version of you. It's so important to have this appreciation of the journey, right, to get to where you are. And it's not like it really ends, because you're ever evolving. Like, whether you know it or you don't, like, you're ever evolving. Things are always constantly changing. The universe isn't static. From a biological level up to even a spiritual level, you are changing. So this new identity isn't always set in stone, but what happens is it's kind of current you. And it's the better version of you compared to before. And maybe there comes a time where you have to kind of shift into a newer you, right? And that's kind of what that's pretty much what the whole thing is. So to wrap this video up, identity shifting is the new person you have to become in order to bring forth a certain desire that you want. And it's something that takes time, it's something that takes awareness, and it's something that takes, you know, a degree of emotion, and it's something that takes habits. When you can incorporate all of this into the three major areas of life, health, wealth, and relationships, first, you're looking at huge changes in your life, because those three are like the 80% of your life. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you're new here, hit the like button, hit the bell notification. Listen, I don't know if YouTube even shows notifications or not. Just hit the bell notification to be notified when I upload. I know you may see it in your recommended section on your feed, but always better to show up early. Appreciate all the support. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about this video. Gem dropping gems as always. Peace.